Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it. I'm going to lock the room. I'm going to lock the room so that Peter can't get in. Then he has to knock. And then he'll say, he'll say, but you said 3:12. And I said, well, we started early because I was just on a plane. I was just on a plane that flew from Florida to Toronto, from Orlando to Toronto. And there was not many people on it. And I get to the gate like an hour and 5 minutes early. And she says, you better hurry up. And I said, what for? It's like an hour until the plane goes. She said, oh, well, they've moved the departure time up because there's not many people on it. And I'm like, well, when is it leaving? Oh, in about 20 minutes. And I said, well, she said, you're the only person that hadn't shown up yet. I'm like, well, you see, that I have a ticket, which I paid money for. So anyways, I got through security because I have my Nexus card. I get to go through pre-check security, so I zip through there, and I look like one of those scenes from any movie where the guy's running through the airport trying to get to the plane.
I've got Home Alone 2 in my head, or Home Alone 1.
Yeah,
I have the vision.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so all right, so this is the what should we call this? Like the British Isles Christmas show?
The Tea Party. I don't know.
The tea party.
Well, it is. It's the British Isles Christmas show because we did a big Christmas show which is on Patreon. We are actually the lead-in. This is actually being broadcast on. Don't tell me. Let me get the big calendar out on the wall, and I'll tell you what day is. This is being broadcast on December the 21st.
Wow.
Just 3 days before Christmas. Gordy, do you have all your shopping done?
Oh, aye. Absolutely.
No, that's good. Can you buy everything you need? Oh, of course you can get it by Amazon. How much stuff do you buy online? How much stuff did you buy in person?
Everything is online apart from the food. All the food is local.
Yeah. And can you guys have a big family gathering? Or I guess not, eh? What's the dealio?
We can get three households together, so we will have a family gathering, but because of people working in care and healthcare and stuff, we can't do that till the day after Christmas Day, but we will do.
Oh,
we're quite lucky.
You know what we have to do as a unit? We have to explain what Boxing Day is to our friends in the colonies. Because because they don't get Boxing Day. And it's like, how come we have Thanksgiving? In Canada, we have Thanksgiving like on the second Monday in October. And then they go, so do you get that day off? Yes, we get that day off. And we have electricity. And and then I go, but we have an extra day at Christmas, Boxing Day. All right, before we go on, let's introduce everybody. We have, I'm going to go with Andy Ambrose first. Andy, say hello.
Hello.
Perfect. Oh, should we let Peter wants to get in the room? Should we let him in?
He has to say a knock joke if he's knocking on the door.
Yeah. We actually started already. We started just a minute ago.
And he's on mute.
And he's on mute. And we can't hear him. Let's see what happens now. And he's feverishly working his. He's feverishly looking at his computer. He's a computer expert too. We have two computer experts. And he's looking at the screen. You can see his eyeballs moving back and forth. He's done his hair special. I'm speaking of Peter Borchards. And he's working and he's talking, but there's nothing happening. We can hear everybody else. What do you think? How do you think the show's going so far, Andy?
Pretty well. Pretty much on
par. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I might call it marginally adequate.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we don't have a very high bar we have to cross. And I love it when people are trying to get their computers going and you can see their eyeballs moving back and forth. He can hear us.
Is it working now? There we go. I can see the microphone.
Yeah, there you go. We can hear you now. Just move your mic a little closer. Move your mic closer to your mouth.
Is that better? Still?
Yeah.
Hang on, I think this headset is rubbish. I'm going to use another one.
Oh, that headset's rubbish. He's going to use a different one. He's got a cord out now. He's plugging it in. Do you think he did it? Matt, do you think he did it? Matt, do you think he did his hair special?
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not entirely sure either. What does that look like?
He's a secret agent, so he has to keep his identity a mystery.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think, Andy?
Too long.
Oh, the cable's too long. The bloody things. Do you guys remember? I'm sure you guys. It must be. Because it's law in Canada because we're part of the Commonwealth. Have you guys ever seen the Beatles movie Help?
Yes.
Yeah, long ago though.
Yeah. What about you, Gordy?
I'm not that old.
Well, yeah, but you can watch stuff from before.
Don't be old.
You don't have to be old. Who was I talking to about that the other day? We were talking about some show, and we were talking about some movie. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Airport 75, and somebody says, well, Kaylee wouldn't have seen that. That was Neil Erickson. Boy, that guy is a pain in my arse. That guy's just a... What's happening now, Peter? There's things happening. He's going with the inline mic from Apple. But now he has to plug that in. And we can see the reflection in his glasses.
But it's a blue one, so they're obviously superior.
Blue what?
The panic in his face.
Yeah, you can. Where do you live, Matt?
I live near Birmingham.
And where is
sort of in the middle?
Is the Birmingham in the middle? Let's try to give everybody a good idea of. We'll give everybody an audio version. I hope everybody has an alcoholic beverage because this looks like it could take a while.
Absolutely, it's Friday. It's Friday night. Friday night beers.
Yeah, I can't.
Apparently, there are two inputs at the back of the computer, and I plugged into the wrong one.
Oh, okay. Well, we can.
There's other times when you can get in trouble for plugging into the wrong hole as well. So just be careful.
Since I've started going back to the office, that my proper microphone is at the office. My posh one, like Lionel's one.
Oh, okay. Well, do I have to buy? Do I need to buy you a headset then? Like I said,
I've got a headset. I just need to charge it.
Oh, it's not charged. So okay, I'm glad you came prepared. Anyways.
Well, yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's beer.
That's prepared.
All right. Well, your other headset was working. Does it not work at all?
No, it does. It's just it goes over Bluetooth, and it just sounds crackly sometimes.
Yeah.
So I usually have to end up plugging it in.
You did know you were going to. You did know you were going to be on a podcast, right?
Yes.
All right. It's a Christmas podcast. Don't be making the host angry right out of the box. I'm going to turn our
ho ho ho.
Yeah, I'm going to turn my camera off. Everybody turn their camera off. We don't want to see each other.
There we go.
All right. So we're going to introduce everybody. Right now, all we can do now we can see Andy.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. We started with Andy. So Andy, it's up to you to speak up because you don't have your crappy mic. You have your good mic, don't you?
I think so.
All right. So so that's Andy Ambrose. This is the first time you've ever actually been on a Modeler's Life podcast.
Indeed it is, yes.
Are you excited?
Very obviously, yes.
Yeah. We can hear it in your voice.
Yes.
So where exactly do you live, Andy?
I live in a little village called Wickham Bishops, which is near Witham in Essex, about 40 miles northeast of London.
Okay, so let's go with that. You're 40 miles northeast of London in the town of...
Wickham Bishops is a village. It's not really a town.
Okay. Well, how far out do you have to get from London before there's open country?
10 miles.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Would you concur with that, Peter?
Yeah, depends which side of London. Like our side of London, you're probably 5 miles.
Really?
Yeah. If you go North London, you got quite a lot of town going up. It all depends which road you take.
Well, yeah.
Roads, you can go north for a long time before you get in the countryside, but generally 5 to 10 miles. Yeah, usually. Yeah,
like most big cities in North America, anyways, have a lot of urban sprawl. And when I was in London, of course, I never made it outside of London. I did, but I was on the train, so I couldn't really tell. So is London does it have urban sprawl, or is it more compact, or?
Definitely urban sprawl.
Is there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. you just follow the motorways or the interstates or whatever they call them. The version we've got, and you can just go from town to town to town. Eventually they just become one. There used to be individual towns and villages, and now they're just all joined together with building developments, housing estates and stuff like that.
All right. So basically the same idea.
Yeah.
But there's bits of grass either side of the M25. I don't know whether you call it a bit of grass country or not, but
depends.
There's bits of grass.
Yeah, fields and things. With
there's a lot of farmland and open countryside in between certain areas, and then joined by
as you get farther out. Yeah, exactly. Well, like around Toronto and most urban areas. I just wondered because
further away from the main roads, you have more countryside.
Yeah.
Within a few miles of the roads, it becomes countryside. So,
it sounds very typical of any westernized metropolis. It sounds very typical of that. Okay. So all right, Andy. So you live in a village. Sorry, I almost said small town. And what do you do for a living?
I run a bus company, a small bus company, which in America you would probably say we're like the jitneys or paratransit type operations.
Oh, okay. So like handicapped operations, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we do run conventional bus routes as well. We run airport pickup services, railhead services, but we've got a lot, probably 70% of our users are the elderly and less able, like myself.
Have you got all your shopping done?
No.
You're elderly? You're elderly?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a state of mind,
I should theoretically have retired 10 years ago, but I didn't.
Oh, how old of a man are you?
I'm just coming up to 70.
Oh, have you been to see a doctor? Because you're not looking too good.
Thank you.
I saw that one. I saw that one coming down the street.
Well, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Did warn him.
All right. So, you haven't got all your shopping done, and it's only 3 days before Christmas.
Oh, yeah. But you have to see what I do for Christmas is I become, I'm very religious. I become a Jehovah's Witness or a Muslim. So I don't buy any presents for the kids.
Oh, so you're just you're a great guy to have on the Christmas show then. Thanks for coming. Who invited you?
You did, actually.
How many kids do you have?
I've got 3 kids, but they've got a couple of grandkids as well. So.
Oh, okay. And the grandfather's known, AKA, as Scrooge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of modeling do you do? What's your model railroading thing?
I'm in HO, and I model the Milwaukee Road in the 1990s, the Pacific Extension specifically.
Have you talked to Spoon at all?
Not directly, no.
How come? He's like a Milwaukee guy.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of a bit fantasy, aren't I? Because the Milwaukee Road didn't exist in the years I'm modelling it.
He doesn't care. Just so long as it's got the word Milwaukee's in it, you'll be friends for life. He just prefers if you send him free stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what he does. He's got Scott Lister sending him free stuff, and Serge LaBelle sends him free stuff. Hey, Serge, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Scott. Yeah, they send him free stuff. I mean, it's crazy. That's what he does. He gets everybody to send him free stuff. So do you have a layout, Andy, or what?
Yeah, I've got a layout in my office at work, and I've got another layout here at home.
You got a layout in your office at work?
Yeah, I've got a triple deck, 20 by 18 around the outside walls of the office.
Seriously?
Yeah. My boss doesn't mind it at all, actually. He's quite likes it.
How long you worked there?
You are the boss, aren't you?
35 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you own the bus company?
No, I'm just, a mere employee.
All right. And you have a layout in your office?
Yeah. It started when I bought a little American layout, a 8-foot shelf layout, and stuck that in there, and everybody got interested in it, and I'd sort of gradually expanded it and expanded it and expanded it, and it sort of like takes up most of the office now.
Does it have a helix or something in it?
Yeah, it does have a helix. Yeah, got the helix in one corner. It's been very, how can I say, useful to the company because it's a tremendous icebreaker with people that come and visit.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Mm.
In your office?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think we've ever had that before, have we, Gordy?
No, and this is legit. There was an NMRAX layout tour of Andy's layout, and it's worth saying that Andy shares that office with other colleagues who put up with this layout around the tops of their desks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Probably the most outspoken of my work colleagues is our operations manager, who gets really annoyed because I've got an F40 that's really loud with a ESU chip in it, and I love just bringing it out of the tunnel right beside her and sounding the horn on it when she's in the middle of an important phone call.
And don't tell me, let me guess, your boss's name is Monty Python.
No, my boss's name is not. It's Brian.
The life of Brian.
There is a connection.
What's your favorite all-time Christmas movie?
I would say probably Lawrence of Arabia or South Pacific.
Okay, I'll bite. Are either of these Christmas movies? Somebody help me out here.
I don't know, but they show them every Christmas.
Well, I'm thinking more of movies. That's like saying Grease is your favorite all-time Christmas movie. I'm thinking more of movies that are about Christmas. Is my microphone on? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But Lionel, what you've got to understand is that the good old BBC is not exactly very creative with their Christmas schedule. Kind of the Christmas party will have happened by now, even in COVID times. They've all got absolutely wasted, and they just roll out the schedule from 1978 and stick it back on again. You know,
there are other channels. You know, you don't just have to watch BBC.
Yeah. So what? Have you ever seen a movie that's based on Christmas?
I'm trying to think of one.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to you. You know what? We'll come back to you.
Hey. I'll Google it.
Yeah, why don't you Google it? You Google it and find a popular Christmas movie. But thanks for coming prepared. I appreciate that. You didn't know the questions, I know. Matt?
Yes, sir?
You got a great mic setup.
Thank you.
Yours is spectacular. I'm going to talk to you more often than I talk to Gordy from now on.
It does help.
Yeah. Well, so where do you live? You live where?
I live in Birmingham, which, if you look on a map of the UK, is sort of halfway between London and the Manchester and Liverpool area. And
Manchester and Liverpool are in the southwest corner?
They're actually in the northwest.
So I had west right then.
Yeah, northwest of England, about in the middle, if you look at the British Isles.
Is it?
So Birmingham's in the southern half. It's kind of south central of the UK. Yeah.
All right. And how long have you lived there your whole life?
Yep.
Okay. All right. There's Liverpool. There's London. I always thought Liverpool was at the other end, but that's where Wales is, right? Wales is in the southwest corner.
Southwest is actually Cornwall, Devon, and Somerset.
All right.
Wales is sort of like the chunk off to the left-hand side of England, effectively.
My mother was born on the Isle of Wight. I'm British,
Really?
Yeah. I'm first-generation Canadian. My father was Scottish, and my mother was born on the Isle of Wight. My dad was born in Glasgow, and my mother was born in the Isle of Wight. You're not dealing with a chimp here, you know.
I never even said I was.
I haven't heard that accent in the Isle of Wight, but there you go.
Well, I haven't. I'm first-generation Canadian.
But to be fair, Matt doesn't speak like he's from Birmingham either.
Gordy doesn't speak like he's from Scotland. And I don't speak like I'm from near London. So,
Yeah, you guys all sound normal to me. You guys all sound the same to me. The only one that's really got any kind of an accent is Andy. He's just kind of, but I'm not sure his is real.
I've been told I have to change my accent and drop a few y'alls in there, and that Joe D'Amato said I have to drop a few y'all mates in there.
Yeah.
Just so that folks in the US can understand me better.
Yeah. We had Joe on the Christmas show, the one that's going to be on Patreon tomorrow. He's a long day for an hour. No, I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. So okay, Matt. So you live in Birmingham. What do you do for a living?
I work in IT for the NHS.
NHS is the National Health Service.
Correct.
IT it's a thing.
It's information technology. So basically, I'm responsible for the computers and software and making sure it all works.
Okay. And do you have a layout in your office?
No, my office is actually, for those of you who deal with computers, actually a hub room. So effectively, I have a desk that's about, I just said, 2 foot by 1 foot, if that, and that's it. So I don't actually have any room for a layout.
What did you say? Your desk is a hub room?
Yeah, it's basically where all the network connections come in for a certain area and then connect to everything else.
Oh, okay. And how long have you been doing that?
With the NHS, I've been here a year, but pretty much for my entire career, I've worked in IT. So,
how long did you have what was the job you had before?
Before I worked in the NHS, I was actually working in IT for a pair of grammar schools that were on the same site. And then before that, I worked for a college for about 4 years. And then before that, I actually worked for a company called CSC, which is now known as DXC Technologies. And again, that was IT, but I've covered, when I was at DXC, or CSC as it was, I actually covered Royal Mail and National Grid. So
you basically have trouble holding the job, by the sounds of it. Sounds like you get in there and you wear out your welcome, and then you say one day they say, "Stop coming here, go somewhere else." How old of a man are you?
I'm 29. I turned 30 in February.
Really? You're 29?
Yep.
That's cool. And you've had all those jobs already. There you go. So you're one of the young guys in the hobby.
Indeed.
You know, we got there's a guy now on the NMRA board who's in his 30s, and he's going to run for president. So we're all very, very excited about that because we're thinking, how cool would it be? Hey, Matt, how many people do you think are in this? Because you're in the Lego end of the hobby.
Correct.
And how many, there's way more younger people in this hobby than people realize, isn't there?
Oh, I'd definitely say that. I think the trouble with model railways is it's sort of one of those hobbies which is kind of having a bit of a resurgence. And certainly from what I've seen of model shops during the pandemic and for a few other bits and pieces, the hobby is certainly a lot bigger than people anticipate, even if it's people who've maybe got, I don't know, the Christmas train set, maybe a couple of other items. But it is I'd say, certainly a wider hobby than people realise, and certainly, if I may use the term, deeper than people might see on the surface.
Oh, I like that. Deeper. Have you thought of that, Gordy?
It is.
Gordy.
Oh, mate, it's unbelievable. I mean, yeah, I'm sure we'll touch on it, but the second most popular male hobby in the United Kingdom is model trains, and it has been for a while. And it's the manufacturers can't keep up, and it ain't because of COVID. The manufacturers can't keep up because of how many people are getting into the hobby. You know, they're ordering their stuff 2 years out, and by the time it comes, it's sold out in minutes. And it's not because they're under ordered; it's because we've added another, 5,000 more people that want that model, and I don't think we can cope. It's huge.
And go ahead.
I had that today. I phoned a supplier to place an order, and they said, we're absolutely inundated at the moment. We can't deliver that till March next year.
I think this hobby is way bigger than anybody realizes, way bigger. Every time I say it, I think I mean it more than I meant it the last time. I've gotten to the point with their podcast where it's kind of just throw my hands up in the air and give up because there are so many people to talk to. It's like I have so much stuff pre-recorded that I wouldn't have to talk to anybody for 4 months, and I could put 2 out every week. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. It's just this hobby is growing like nuts. And the fun thing is, like guys like Matt, who's into the Lego end of it, they're just as interested in the podcast as well because they're model railroaders as well. They're building their trains out of Lego, which is just as legit as anything else.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing to have a mark of how big the hobby is growing is actually the amount of new manufacturers coming online. I think certainly, although I've not been modelling British stuff recently, or as my main interest, I have noticed that even at the Wally show, we're gaining another 2-3 manufacturers or so in the last 5 years. And it just seems to be growing exponentially, even if it's their launch model. I mean, there was a brand new manufacturer at Wally last year who announced they were doing one of the prototype diesels, which I think was Lion. But it's just amazing the amount of manufacturers we're getting now. And a lot of these manufacturers aren't even doing what I'd call mainstream locomotives either. You're talking about some loco types that maybe only had 30, 40 to a class.
Right.
Possibly. And the fact that that's now becoming a mainstream ready-to-run model is quite astonishing.
Yeah. So you mentioned Wally, so let's just give everybody an idea what that is. That's your big show in the British Isles. That's your version of Springfield, right?
I'd attribute it to something like that. Wally is, they bill it as the largest model railway show in the UK, and I'd probably say for square footage it probably is. Wally, for those who don't know what it is, Wally originally started off as an exhibition for the Wally Model Railway Club, which is actually a Birmingham-based club. I think they're in Rubery, around there. I have actually visited their club rooms a few times, and they actually started off as a smaller exhibition, and then they've just grown and grown over the years, and then it's got to this, and then eventually they actually started using the National Exhibition Centre, which is actually one of the UK's largest exhibition venues to actually host the Model Railway Show, and it's a sight to behold, even if you only go there once, because they've always got a full-size locomotive or exhibit there for you to have a look at.
Yeah. So, well, Gordy, you've been to both shows, and so have you, Peter. I'll ask you too. But so, is it the British version of Springfield?
No. Yes, it is our equivalent. It's nowhere near as big. I would say it probably gets a similar attendance. But the actual area is smaller, and so it's probably about 1 or 2 buildings of Springfield.
Right.
But it's got as many different exhibits and traders in as probably the Better Living Centre and the old cattle shed down the bottom. I can't remember what that building's called. At Springfield, so it's reasonable size. Springfield's not half as big. Again, but it's.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily
for the UK. It's huge. It's
not
absolutely huge.
It's not necessarily size comparison. It's the show in the British Isles.
Absolutely.
Each year.
The venue is at a major international airport and a major international major regional main line, which is a 4-track main line with high-speed rail service to London and to the north. So it's a very well-connected venue, and literally people travel from all ends of the country to it. But just the same as Springfield, it's exactly the same to us, as important to us as British models as Springfield is.
Exactly, that's what I'm kind of trying to say. So, Matt, did I ask you if you got your shopping done yet?
No.
Have you?
Pretty much. I just need to get a couple more bits, and it's all ready for Christmas time.
All right. Are you married?
No.
Okay. Well, all right. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm happy for you, actually. No, that's not true. So you got brothers, sisters, mom, dad. Like, who are you buying for?
Immediate family mostly. So there's my mom, and then there's my 2 brothers and my sister.
Okay.
And I still live at home with my mom and one of my brothers, and then hopefully around Christmas time we'll actually have a good get together like we did have previous years, and we exchange gifts and have a good meal. And
yeah,
have a good celebration.
So what do your brothers and sisters think of your Lego thing? Do they enjoy it? You know, do they enjoy the fact that you're doing it kind of thing? It's like something they realize you have fun with?
Yeah, I mean, I actually started off doing model railways, the traditional form of model railways with, I started off with British 00 originally, and then through various scales and changing to American, I actually then started doing Lego because I inherited a load of Lego from my siblings originally, which was originally castle and space mostly, but I've built on that with city and then sort of consolidated it all into doing Lego trains instead.
Cool. And what's your favorite all-time Christmas movie? The key word there being Christmas.
I'd have to say Die Hard.
Okay, that's a good answer. I like that answer. It is a Christmas movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Is it?
Well, it is. It's just like I was watching one of my favorite movies. It was released in 1977. It's called The Last Picture Show, and it's based around Christmas. It's got nothing to do with Christmas, but it's based around Christmas. A lot of movies are based around Christmas, like Die Hard is, without being actual Christmas movies, but they're Christmas. How are you making out there, Andy, Googling Christmas movies?
Yeah, that's on the list, but I wouldn't have thought it was a Christmas movie.
No, okay. All right.
I've come up with two. White Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Bing Crosby.
Yeah, and The Snowman.
What one was that?
Well, I've deliberately picked that because it says it was not widely known outside the UK.
Yeah, it's very well known in the UK. It's definitely on every year. It's a bit weird.
I would sing it to you, but I didn't want to affect anyone.
No, we don't do we're not doing singing.
The whole movie's like less than 10 minutes. I think it's 9 minutes long or something crazy like that.
26
longer
minutes.
Than Is it 26 minutes? All right. Well, you can sing it in 9 minutes, Andy, if you do it really quick.
Okay.
What is it? A whole musical or something?
It's like a bad dream.
Oh, okay.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it's about flying snowmen, Lionel. I mean, you've got to be a lonely
snowman and a young boy and all that.
It's a little boy and a snowman, and they go for a flight around the world and all that kind of around the town and all that kind of stuff. And it's one of those movies that's always shown on Christmas Eve. By the time that Dad has consumed half a bottle of scotch.
Well, you painted a very a fun Christmas Eve picture there. Hey, I know what I was going to ask. Andy, when do you guys open your presents?
Christmas Day.
All right, just asking. Don't have to get snarly.
I'm not. I was just surprised to think that we might open them at a different time from anyone else.
Well, other people around the world, some people do open them on Christmas Eve.
Right.
Like people like Poland and Germany, I think could do it Christmas Eve. That's their big Christmas day.
Yeah,
more important than Christmas Day to them.
I torture Barb every year at 8:00. I call her and say, "Can you come over for a minute? Because I want to." And she goes, "I'm opening my presents." I'm like, on Christmas Eve. Because she's German. So they open their presents on Christmas Eve. And I'm always going, what are you doing it on Christmas? And every year she picks up the phone.
I can explain it to you quickly.
I didn't ask you to.
Okay. Well,
Go ahead.
I will. It's to do with the sighting of the first star in the sky on Christmas Eve, which is supposed to signify the birth of baby Jesus, and then everyone coming giving gifts and everything. And that kicks off their whole celebration at whatever point in there. I can't remember what order in which they do things, but that's why they give their presents on Christmas Eve, because technically that's when the wise men are supposed to have turned up. But I think different theories are of how many days after the birth of Jesus they actually did turn up. But that's what it's all about. That's why they kick their stuff off on Christmas Eve, is because when the first star is in the sky, baby Jesus is born. Let's all have a party and get drunk.
Okay. You know a lot of stuff. All right. So I'm going to move on to Peter. Peter Borchards, all the way from you live near London.
Just west of London. Yeah, not far away.
Near Croydon.
No, that's east of London.
That's south of London.
South. Yeah, sort of southeast-ish, I suppose.
I'm
near. It's on Heathrow side. So Heathrow is west of London. I'm about 20 minutes west of Heathrow Airport.
So technically, I've probably seen your house because I've flown into Heathrow.
If you came over came over from the west side over Windsor Castle, you might have seen my house on the left.
Do you live near? Are you? What's the next nearest town? What's the near town you're nearest? Like it's full.
Well, the biggest one is Maidenhead.
Maidenhead. I don't see
Maidenhead. Right on the main M4 motorway. So if you look west of Heathrow.
Okay, yeah. All right, I see Maidenhead. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm just north of that.
You near Marlow?
Yeah, 5 minutes from Marlow, just at the top of the hill. So Marlow's at the bottom of the hill on the River Thames, and we're at the top of the hill, literally 5 minutes drive from there.
And where's your office?
That's a place called Bray, which is just the other side of Maidenhead. So between Maidenhead and the motorway is Bray. It's right on the river as well.
Oh, okay.
So the River Thames does the curly, the winding.
Yeah, it's curly. Yeah,
down there.
I'm surprised.
Curly.
Surprised by that because I thought your office was at Thames House, Peter.
No, that's my other one. I can't say which one I'm normally at, but my official office is in Bray. Well, my public office, should I say? I'm not allowed to say where my other one is.
Oh.
If I have another one.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know really. my cover office is Bray. Put it that way.
Yeah, you can't tell us on the air where you really live because your wife is a very well known chef, not cook. Yeah.
There's a difference. She doesn't work in a professional kitchen. She's a cook.
Yeah, I just can't stand that. I can't. She writes. How many books has she written?
8, I think. No, 7, 8, and 9. Probably 9 books.
I got to get you to send me more books for Barb, actually, because you sent me a couple one year, but I don't remember which ones they were.
Well, find out which ones there were, and then I can send you some others.
Yeah, and
send you some new ones.
Yeah, send me some new ones. Can you?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, there won't be Lucy's. Well, I can't remember which ones I sent you last time because there was one that Lucy co-wrote. 2 of them she's co-written. She hasn't written one of her own for a long time, but she's co-written, and then her boss has written quite a few.
So Lucy Young, your wife's name is Lucy Young. And she's a rather well-known cook on British TV and throughout the British Isles because she works with somebody named Mary Berry. That's
right, yeah.
But she's also...
Mary's the well-known cook on TV. I mean, Lucy's done some TV stuff, but she appears in the credits. She's when the credits roll at the end of the show, end of Mary's shows, Lucy's name is the first one that appears.
Okay.
Well, after Mary's, rather. It's Mary's first, and then Lucy's is the next one.
How many times have you been on the cooking shows?
Twice, I think. 2 Christmas specials I was on. Twice or 3 times? Might have been 3 actually. I can't remember.
Where you're in the background milling around.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. Well, a few of them I've actually been. Actually, one of them I was actually full screen. If you had a big screen TV, I would have taken up the whole room.
Oh yeah, he's fibbing here. He's always locked and loaded with the most expensive, glass of plonk in the building, right in front of the camera. Taken plenty of screenshots of him and posted it on
Facebook. Do you think, Gordy? Do you think Lucy married him just because he'd be good? He'd be good as an extra on the set.
Don't know. I think she saw his muscles and thought he'd be good at carrying my bags.
Muscles. Now we're talking. Now we're gonna have to open up our cameras again. I don't see the muscle thing.
I like eating muscles.
Yeah, there you go. So, how's your layout coming, Peter?
It's coming along. It is. I've done the helix. Well, I've built the helix, but I haven't put the track on it yet. So the helix is in place. I'm just waiting for the rest of the track to arrive. It's held up at the customs at the container port at the moment. There's a big backlog, so. Still waiting for the rest of that to arrive. And today I was busy building a whole lot of cupboards to go underneath the layout. So I bought 4 identical cupboards that'll be nice to store everything, and it'll look quite nice once it's finished.
Yeah, so you're legitimately getting started on your next layout then.
Yep, and I'm starting the planning as well. So I wanted to get the helix done first, and then everything else is based around the helix because that determines the lower level and the first level of the layout. So now that's in place, I can start with the rest.
How many times around is the helix?
4.5, I think. 4.5.
So you should you should get a hold of Ron Marsh because he's building the helix.
Yeah, I think his is about 10 or 12. Huge.
I don't know.
my helix is quite. It was a kit one from Germany, so so I had to use the radius that they had to offer. They had two different types. Different type of radius, different curve radius. So it's tighter than I normally do, but I really had I took the widest radius they had.
So this is a kit you bought from Germany.
Yeah.
How much was it?
Right, yeah. Good question. Actually, it's probably about conversion here.
Well, roughly.
Roughly, yeah. I'm just going to get a rough conversion. Probably about $400.
Okay. And does it seem like it's pretty good quality?
Yeah, it's good. It's good quality plywood. I think it's like a 6mm ply, and that is 6mm ply is about 0.23 of an inch, whatever that is in real money. I don't know.
Yeah.
Quarter inch, I suppose. Yeah, it's a quarter inch, I suppose. Yeah, quarter inch ply. Yeah. So, yeah.
So let's remind, and you have a YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel called?
BNSF Chicago Sub in N scale.
All right. That was
yeah.
Remember the time we rode the metro and you almost fell out the front door?
Yeah, I'm going to try and replicate that in N scale.
There it was. It was like a Keystone Cops. It was like a Keystone Cops thing. The door was open and you swung out and over the tracks. It was crazy.
I can easily do that in N scale. Yeah, I've got the people I can use, and I can use a person and just replicate that on one of the random trains that comes around.
Yeah, exactly.
The door open. I'm sure I can use some kind of servo or something to simulate the door opening and the guy leaning out.
All right.
Fun, actually.
Yeah, it would be. There's a guy I want to interview. It's called Mini Prince, and he's actually in Toronto, and he's on my list of people to interview, along with the other 17,000 people I've stumbled across.
There's a parcel on the way to me from him.
Oh, there you go.
Bernard's a great guy.
Okay.
The world can thank Bernard from Mini Prince for the NMRAX logo.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Bernard helped you with that, did he?
He did. He put that together for us.
All right. Did you fall asleep there?
No. Just couldn't reach the unmute button quick enough.
Why do you keep putting yourself on mute?
Because you always tell me off for drinking on for drinking on the microphone. So I was just using the push to talk feature,
Oh, just leave it on. Just leave it on. It's a Christmas show. Nobody cares if you've had too many. It's
all right.
Christmas.
Well, I'll send for the bottle.
Yeah. All right, Peter. Have you got all your Christmas shopping done?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's only 3 days before Christmas.
Yeah, I think I've got. I always leave my mother's one till last.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You need help.
She never knows what she wants.
Do you need ideas?
Well, she's of that age where she doesn't actually need anything apart from food, consumables.
Right.
So I always buy something that will that's nice and fresh, something that unusual that she will like.
Okay.
So I normally buy that a few days before.
Yeah.
I bought her something else as well anyway. So.
And what's your favorite all-time Christmas movie?
Probably Home Alone, actually, I think.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Fun one.
I like that. I like the part where the kid's got the recording going. Listen, you dirty rotten rat. I like that part. Do you watch it every year?
No, not every year. Every couple of years, I think.
All right.
I watch it every year.
When do you open your presents?
Christmas morning, usually.
There you go. What is Boxing Day? Well, when we get Gordy finished here, Gordy.
We'll give the proper thing. That's the day after Christmas.
It is.
Yeah. So it's another holiday here.
We should.
Gordy will give the explanation for it.
Yeah, what we should do is ask Andy if they had Boxing Day when he was a kid. Seeing as how he's the oldest one here. Andy, did they have Boxing Day when there was a kid, or did it just start like when you were in your 50s? Andy left. Now, Andy, what is it with you guys? Now Andy's not talking.
Andy's here. Andy's here. I can tell you what Boxing Day is.
Your name's not Andy. Andy. He's fallen asleep. That's what's happened. You'd think with his first time ever on the podcast, he'd be able to stay awake. He's fallen asleep. All right, Gordy, you're up, buddy. So we got Peter that lives near London on the west side of London, or the west side of London. Let's just say
West side of, due west, yeah.
Yep, due west. And then we got Andy, who's northeast of London. And then we got, how far is it from London to Birmingham, Matt?
I'd have to do a little bit of Googling on the internet machine for that.
Well,
About hour and a half by car or something like that. Hour and a half, 2 hours or something like that, I think, on the motorway.
It estimates it as about 125 miles.
All right, that's close enough.
Yeah.
You should know that. You should know that off the top of your head.
I don't think he leaves Birmingham.
Or you don't. You just stay right there. Hey, you know what we got to ask? For this particular podcast is, what football club do you root for, Matt?
I'm not really much of a football fan, but my family, generally speaking, supports Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Wolverhampton Wanderers?
Yeah.
Wolves.
Wolverhampton Wolves. But they're called the Wolverhampton Wanderers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're based in a town called Wolverhampton, which is...
I see where that is on the map.
In the good old Black Country.
That's cool.
That's what it's called. That's the part of the UK. It's called the Black Country.
All right. Okay. How about you, Peter?
Again, I'm not a football fan at all, but
isn't that like time out here? Isn't that like saying you're not a hockey fan in Canada?
It is.
Well,
they're all lying.
Remember, I'm not British. Remember, I'm British heritage. I've got British roots, but I'm not. I'm from South Africa. I'm
all
rugby.
right. What's your favorite rugby?
I'm a rugby supporter.
All right. Okay.
Obviously, my favorite team is South Africa, but
Yeah. Okay.
We've got a local team called the Wasps. Yeah.
Where is rugby the most? What is the strongest rugby league in the world? Like, where is rugby the most popular, the most strongest?
Australia, NRL in Australia.
Is your name? Am I talking to you?
It's
Peter. I think statistically, I think it's probably Tonga. If you look at the size of the country compared to the amount of people who play it, it's probably Tonga, and then followed by New Zealand.
Okay,
beat everyone.
New Zealand.
All Blacks beat everyone.
All right.
But on gross income, like in terms of like who earns the most money, what's the most, the richest league? It's the guys in Australia.
Australia, yeah. Followed by South Africa, maybe. Actually, no, I think UK might be ahead of them. Actually,
might be close. It's close.
Yeah.
Let me try again, Peter.
Yes.
Where do you think rugby is the strongest? Is the most popular?
Well, I mean, coming from South Africa, I'd say South Africa, but I think it's close between South Africa and Australia.
What about
popularity?
What about New Zealand? I hear it's pretty popular.
It is popular. I don't know how popular it is with percentage of the population. I'm not entirely sure of that.
Okay.
In South Africa, it's well, mind you, it could be actually probably. I think Australia. I think if you look percentage-wise, I think Australia is probably the most.
You know what's wrong
with the population?
You know what's wrong with this podcast? Because I was talking to, I did 15 minutes with Dave Abeleys about Christmas. You know what's the difference between last year and this year with this podcast? I'm telling you, Gordy, this hobby is growing like nuts. There's like, we had 22 people on our Christmas show, which was a really bad idea. But I thought, I'll get everybody on at the same time. Maybe we'll have fun, and we did have a lot of fun. And you'll be able to hear that tomorrow. But so that's 22 people. You guys, there's 4 of you. There's 26 people. And then Dave, I talked to Dave Abeleys. That's 27. And I mean, I haven't even scratched the surface of all the people I should talk to. This was such a bad idea. Matt, do you like a particular sport other than football?
Not massively, but I do like a bit of ice hockey every now and again.
I was going to say ice hockey. That's the right answer.
So how popular is hockey in Birmingham?
I haven't looked much into local teams, but as far as I'm aware, it's not that popular as a sport.
You've got a Premiership team up there?
Pardon?
You've got a Premiership team, a ice hockey Premiership up there somewhere?
Coventry.
Coventry.
Nearest team would be Coventry and Nottingham.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
There are a few amateur teams around Birmingham, I think, but at least one of the ice hockey rinks actually closed down a few years ago that was actually located in Birmingham itself.
Huh.
So,
you know what you need to do then? So where do you watch North American hockey? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, I do watch a little bit of hockey on YouTube. Sometimes it's on late night TV.
Right.
So, generally speaking, it's either a bit of Toronto Maple Leafs or Boston Bruins.
Yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs. Don't even anybody who is a Bruins fan needs to be escorted out of the building.
The only reason I watched the Bruins is because many moons ago, when I went to America in 2012, I actually stayed with a friend of the time who actually supported the Boston Bruins. So,
and where did they live?
They lived in Brantford, Connecticut, I think it was.
Okay, so they lived near Boston. Okay.
Yeah.
I can absolutely. I have a nephew. He's a Bruins supporter, and he's, of course, he lives in Southern Ontario, and it's like, no, your team is where you were born, period, end of sentence. It's not up for discussion. That's your team. You don't get to choose another team from where you were born. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. My team is the Leafs. I don't care how bad they are. It's my team. It's my team.
2020 was their year.
Yeah, exactly. 2020 was their year. Andy, are you there?
Yeah.
Attaboy. What's your favorite sport? Do you have a sport that you follow?
Well, I believe, like you do, that you should support the team that where you were brought up. And I was brought up in East London, so I support Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, who just happen to be at the top of the Premiership right now.
There you go. Boom. So you are a football fan.
Not.
What is wrong with you people?
It's like there's this myth, isn't there, that everyone in Canada goes around in check shirts and there's and plays hockey. It's not the same, and there's this myth in the UK that everyone's a soccer hooligan, and it's just not the case.
I don't kill my vision of Canada. As far as I'm concerned, everybody plays hockey and everybody loves hockey. So please don't kill my version of Canada. All right, let's get this show on the road. Okay, Gordy. So recently, and everybody jump in here. Recently, Gordy has had this unwavering desire to make the model railroading hobby the best it can be, and he has relentlessly chased the NMRA board until he finally got on it, until they gave him a position on it. And what did they make you?
At large worldwide director.
And how long ago was that?
It was just around the beginning of November. So it's about, when we were doing this, about 7 weeks ago.
Okay, and how's it going so far?
It's good. We've done one working meeting. It's already had some Gordy influence into there, we're getting some work done. I'm involved in quite a few working groups already, looking at some of the standards and stuff. So it's good. It's been well accepted, and it's people are treated just like anybody else. So it's great.
Really? So they were treating you okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was told I was a little bit cutting in some of my comments, but then I don't believe in going round in circles discussing nonsense. So, that's why they invited me.
Hey, Gordy.
Yes.
Was that the interpreter's interpretation of what they were saying, or was that what they said themselves?
That's exactly what they said to me.
And who is they?
That was the board of directors in the working meeting. There was so a point came up, and I said, and after listening to people discuss this suggestion that was made to the board for 20 minutes, I made the comment that maybe they were seeking a problem to meet their solution rather than trying to solve a problem, and maybe they should go back to the person and ask what the actual problem was, and then they could look at what solutions to propose instead of the other way around.
Yeah, that's a very cutting comment. Oh my God, I can see how people would be offended by that.
I got a round of applause.
There you go. So in other words,
I've got one thing. Sorry, carry on, Gordy.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's a question for Gordy. Is do you ever sleep? You're involved in NMRAX, the NMRA, the God knows what else, but plus your work, plus your home life.
My modelling takes a hit with every new thing, that a new project I take on that isn't modelling. I have to be honest with that. But
Yeah.
Don't get into all this thing. I mean, by all means, do service to the hobby and do good for other people. But, don't do too much because you'll never get any modelling done and then you'll not enjoy the hobby as much. Would be my top tip to people.
I'm just talking about your daily life. How do you fit working around this?
Oh, works great. Global company, calls to Australia in the middle of the night, and then you can just, before you go back to bed, pick up a few NMRA calls and a few emails and you crack on, don't you?
Okay.
Okay, so where do you live? Where do you live, Gordy?
I live in Orkney, which is a group of islands right off the north coast of the United Kingdom, right off the north of Scotland.
You live on the island of Burray.
I do live on the island of Burray, all 3.5 square miles of it.
And you just built a beautiful house there.
I did, yeah, we did. And it's got its own little train room. It's about 21 by 13, and it has a little bit down the back of where our staircase is from the ground floor to the first floor. And we started building the layout, and hopefully I get a week off, Peter, just so you make you feel better. I finish on the 24th, and I don't go back to work till the 5th of January. So hopefully the open girder bench work will go in for the main part of the layout. So,
and how long does it take to drive from Kirkwall to Berwick?
To Bury to Berwick at the
Berwick,
very bottom.
Yeah.
That's probably about 40 minutes. It's quite a way,
Oh.
Is Bury actually a town? Like, is there actually more than just your house there?
It's a village. I've got to be honest. In the village, my house was the most recent one built, and my phone number is like kind of number 58. So there's not that many. There's not that many houses, but there is another NMRA member, thanks to NMRAX. And there's about 400 people live on Bury, and we've got a pub and a hotel, and we have a jeweller's and a little shop that sells local produce, all produced in Orkney. Like, the carbon footprint is very low. We have some windmills on the island, produce a lot of our own power and stuff like that. It's a nice place to live.
I'm sure it is. I'm actually excited about coming to visit you. That's like it is like pretty high on my list of places I'm going. Like, it's like that's what bugged me the most about the passing of our buddy Stuart Sterling and our pal Boston Joe. Fortunately, I got to go visit with Boston Joe once in Boston, but I was all set to go to Alaska, and I mean, Stuart was there, and I was going to get the royal tour and the whole bit. So I mean, I'm excited about coming to see you because all I got to do is just stay in your house.
Absolutely, we will look after you
and eat.
Eat. Oh, we will. Don't worry, that will be sorted. We will slaughter a few animals in your honor.
And I'm going to drive around too. I want to drive around all these islands. You don't have to take time off. I will just during the day. I'll just go driving around these islands.
You know what? I'll even ask the fishermen next door to take you out on the boat if you want.
Well, there you go.
Around the islands and stuff that people don't live on.
Yeah.
We can go and have a picnic on one of the uninhabited islands if you want.
Just choose a day where the wind is a little bit less than force 9.
Yeah. Why spoil the fun? But yeah, of course we will.
So, are you still running for president of the NMRA?
I am, and the ballots will be going out on January the 15th worldwide.
And is there even any point in having an election? Are you the only one on the ballot?
I am not. There is another person on the ballot. There is the Bob Amsler, the current NMRA General Counsel. He's also on the ballot.
Can the General Counsel be the president?
Not at the same time, but nor can the at-large worldwide director. So one of us would have to drop our current position on the board and take up the new one. So it would need to be replaced.
So vote for Gordy.
That would be nice.
So, I mean, this is, and I want everybody's opinion on this, except you, Andy. That's not true. This is exactly what we've been working towards over the last 5 or 6 years since the podcast has been going. Is here you are living on a rock in the Atlantic, the North Atlantic, off the coast of Scotland, and you're as connected to the NMRA as anybody, and you can easily be the president of the NMRA because of how the world is interconnected now. And I mean, is that not just about the coolest thing going? I mean, you'll be able to do just as much work as anybody else living anywhere else.
I probably get more done because I don't need to travel. I mean, it's yeah, exactly. It's great. I'm extremely well connected. I've spoken to just this week 4 different regions of the NMRA around the world in 4 different time zones. So yeah, it's totally doable. That people are crazy that that don't accept that we live in a global world now. It's globalism's here. You can't go and hide in a cardboard box from it.
So what do you think, Andy, about the fact that just about anybody can be president from anywhere in the world, and we're on the verge of making it happen?
I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's just the whole virtual world has just expanded so much since March in the model railroad field. Remote operations, you've got all sorts of different groups that couldn't meet have suddenly gone virtual, and they're getting higher and higher attendances at the virtual meets than they ever had at the normal club meets. It's amazing.
Were you going to say something? I could tell you were taking a breath there, Gordy. Sounded like you were going to say something.
Oh, sorry, no, I just got up and walked around and sat back down again. No, but Andy's, I just getting the blood going back in my legs. No, Andy's absolutely spot on. The hobby's exploding. The hobby's huge, and without getting on the NMRA bandwagon, we of course can do more. But I think it's nice to see the world has. I knew this would happen kind of in March. The world has changed now as much as the world changed from 1939 to 1945, or if you're in America, 1941 to 1945, although, that's just the way it is. But the world changed after 45. The world will change after COVID and change for the better, and people live a different life. People weren't Zooming their families. People talk to their families themselves more probably now than they did before the pandemic, and people in model railroading are finding each other. I found and met more new people in the last 9 months than I met in the last 3 years, and I think I'm quite a person that gets out there and talks to people. So no, I think it's fantastic, and I really am excited about the new followers that we found, people that have found the hobby on YouTube. We've increased the NMRA subscribers on YouTube from 130 to 2,500. I mean, that's awesome. And, and I see everyone that does these really good YouTube channels. I see, Ron's Trains and Things, the increase in uptick in people with him. You get Drew coming out with his YouTube channel, the new young gun. And it's so exciting. I'm so excited for all the people that are getting the train set under the Christmas tree this year. And if anyone's wondering what gift to get on the 21st of December, just buy someone a train set. Doesn't matter how old they are. Just buy them a train set for under the tree because they'll love it. And it's awesome. It's so exciting.
Well, you just look at Luke Towan. He's from Australia, and because of the global internet thing, he's now known throughout the world. And I'm just looking. He's just he's over 1 million subscribers, and this is a model railroader. Well, he's technically a modeler, but he's done a lot of model railroading. But over 1 million subscribers, and that's because of the internet. And it's amazing.
He discovered and joined the NMRA this year as well. And after Lionel, he is the world's most well-known. Maybe Lionel, Rod Stewart, and then Luke. But he is one of the top 3 world's most known model railroaders, and that's awesome. And he is like a lot of people, he's got 4 of his achievement program certificates for the NMRA this year, and I have no doubt he will be a master model railroader very quickly, and even better, all the better for it. Promote the hobby, promote people to improve things. It's awesome, Lionel. Like you couldn't have dreamt a better outcome, could you? Really? For what? If we're honest, like the hobby wouldn't have been in life support, but the way that our organisations that surround the hobby, not just the NMRA, but everything that's social, effectively everything in the world that's social is on life support and has been on life support since Springfield, right? The week after Springfield in February, and yet it's survived, and as Andy just said quite rightly, it's grown because it's evolved, and it will be more and more things will evolve, just like the AML continues to evolve. Everything's going to evolve into the next year. It's very exciting.
Well, and I personally think that the hobby had already started to grow like crazy before the whole COVID thing. And it just was like it was already in, and it just got shifted into a higher gear. Like it was primed and ready to take off because so many people. Like one of my things, I think, I think we have an opportunity to actually make the hobby cool. Like it's becoming more of a mainstream thing because there's so many aspects, and just modeling a boxcar or building a structure or whatever. I mean, you don't have to. We're starting to learn now that you don't have to have some massive layout. You could have a 1 foot by 2 foot layout and have just as much fun as anybody else. And it's the community that's going crazy. The people finding each other.
Yeah, but that's my point though. That's happening despite social events being effectively on life support. You can't have social events. You cannot meet people in the traditional way, and that's fantastic. It's exactly the kick in the pants that the hobby needed. And as you said, it was primed and ready to go. But you need that stimulus, don't you? And that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think it's amazing. My first contact with American modelers was NMRAX, talking to them on the chat rooms back when the first one came out. Since then, I have got literally hundreds of friends on the American continent.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
And people that you feel that you can literally go and visit.
Yeah. I've been invited.
Most of my friends at the moment are actually in the US. American modelers who I've met through AML and NMRA and stuff like that. People I've met at the NMRA conventions over there, people I've met through the AML, and the majority of them are in America and Canada and that, and I've got a great friendship with all of them. I've been to stay with a few of them, went to visit. It's great.
Well, look at you and me, Peter. I mean, we've met in person 2 or 3 times, and I mean, ever since it's like just seeing somebody that you've been friends with for decades.
Yeah, well, it's like Bruce. I mean, when Bruce and Jean, his wife Jean came over last year. I think it was last year, or the year before. They came out. They came to our house, and we took them out to dinner down in Marlow. And this was a chap who I met through the AML. I'd never been to into Canada to meet him at all, but we just met, in person for the first time in the States. I think it was Springfield. I think I first met you and him.
Right.
And then, the next time I saw him, he was on a visit to the UK and came to see my house and came to see the layout and went off to dinner with the two of us.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? You meet someone virtually and they invite you to your house and you take them out to a meal, with your wife and, their wife, and it's great.
I don't think we, even as much as I go on and on about it, I don't think we have any idea how much this hobby is going to grow over the next 10 years. I don't think we can even take a guess at it at this point.
Yeah.
Andy, how did you find the podcast?
How did I find it originally, or how do I find it?
No, not how do you find it now, because we know how that is. How did you find it originally?
I went, as I was saying about NMRAX, and the first one you were on, and I went and looked at your site after that and been listening to it ever since.
Oh, okay. And hey, Matt, how did you find the podcast?
2 aspects, really. The first one was some of the crew of A Modeller's Life were on What's Nick with Ken Patterson.
Okay.
The second one was Kale Leaphart, who's half of the Brick Model Railroader team, actually came on the podcast as well. And there's episode quite a long while ago now, but he had his own episode and then had the round of the Kelly questions. So,
and do you talk to Kale at all, or?
We send messages to him often because I've created a group chat with him and Glenn, who are the 2 members of Brick Model Router, and I share a few bits with them, and they share a few bits with me, and sometimes we'll have a discussion of techniques and that sort of thing, and it's great.
And do you feel like the Lego aspect of model railroading is growing as well?
I would say, kind of like regular model railroading, it's kind of had I'd have said it's kicked itself into another higher gear within the past couple of years, because we're now starting to get injection molded aftermarket parts being produced. We're seeing a lot of custom electronics start getting produced. partially to fill the void that Lego themselves don't fill. We're seeing yet more people come online with 3D printed track and parts, and it's just seems to be exploding of late.
Yeah.
And then this year, this is probably, it's not the first for Lego trains, but Brick Railroad actually launched their own knuckle couplers, which actually use O-scale KDs in a customized Lego compatible pocket.
Oh, really? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. So that would probably add to the overall enjoyment of running. Do you have any area where you actually can run your trains?
I've got a small bit of workbench set up, and I can run trains around that. But generally speaking, if it's I normally just have a circle of track or something on the floor for testing.
Right.
And then, other than that, it's normally exhibitions.
And do you belong to a club or anything?
I belong to, if you want to include it, the NMRA, it's 3. So I belong to the NMRA, I belong to Brick Central, which is just a regular Lego group, and then I belong to the Lego Northern UK Railway, or LNUR, which is actually one of the only 2 Lego train clubs in the UK.
Okay. Now, you're a member of the NMRA. Do you think you'll vote for Gordy, or do you think you'll vote for the other guy?
I'd probably say I'll vote for Gordy. I mean, one of the reasons I actually rejoined this year was because the NMRA launched NMRAX, and that's actually one of they had a box for comments about why you're rejoining, and I actually said because of Gordy and NMRAX.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence. I can't decide who I'm going to vote for. I'm going to weigh all the options, see each candidate. How about you, Andy? Do you belong to the NMRA?
I do indeed. I've been a member for a few years. And if the election is between Gordy and Bob Anselm, no disrespect to Bob, he's probably a very nice bloke, but I'm just looking at the history. As the council, he's always taken the easy path, or, convinced the other directors to take the easy path, which is not necessarily the best direction for the NMRA. And I would imagine that Gordy's not the sort of person to take the easy path if there's a better one.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, well, maybe you can help me decide who to vote for when the time comes.
Yeah, I'll gladly.
All right. And Peter, I know you're not a member of the NMRA, but if you were...
No, I am.
Oh, are you?
I'm a member. I'm just not a British region member. I am. Apparently, I am now. But because I've just been upgraded. No, I'm not officially not a British region member. I'm an NMRA national member. But I wasn't, a British region member. I left the British region as, I didn't renew my British region a long time ago. But I'm still an NMRA member, and I've been a member since I was still in South Africa. So probably at least since 96, 97. So, 22, 23 years I've been a member.
Okay.
And I've always, I've never been a lapsed member. I've always been a continuous member for at least 22, 23 years.
Do you have any idea? Have you made up your mind yet who you're going to vote for?
Well, we'll see if there's someone else going to come on the ballot first. But, yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, if not, then probably Gordy, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to. I've still got to vote for Gordy badges. So,
yeah, that's right. I still have my vote for Gordy badge, yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm. I mean, we got 5 votes here, and sounds like 4 pretty solid ones for Gordy. So, I don't.
And basically, if you look at the way they do the polling in the States, well, actually around the world. So, sort of 4 out of 5 people have voted for Gordy. Therefore, according to the polls, Gordy's won.
Yeah, exactly.
Extrapolate that to the population and what,
And this it's very okay. And it's very unbiased sample set.
Yeah. Well,
Well, no, I think everybody. I haven't decided yet. I'm telling you, I'm on the fence, buddy. I'm really struggling with this one.
And so you should be. Everybody should weigh up. Read the candidate statements and make the decision that they feel is best for the organization, because they're all a part of it.
There you go. Well, if you became president, what's your number one goal? Before you go on.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get into a political. It's a Christmas thing. Let's not get into it.
All right.
Let's not go there.
Okay, well, all right. Well, excuse me.
We should really talk about Boxing Day or something exciting like that.
Oh, yeah. We still got to figure out what box. Well,
out,
first off, what's your all-time favorite Christmas movie?
See, I'm with Peter. It's Home Alone, and it religiously gets played in our house every Christmas. When it comes on, though, Die Hard is another firm favorite. But my favorite bit of the I've got to be honest, my favorite bit of Home Alone is the bit where he's attached the people to the train set and they're going round in the room and stuff like that, and he's done all that's awesome. So great use for your I always thought that was a great use for the train set you got at Christmas, is to attach cardboard cutouts of people and have them going round in your house. Especially this year, can you imagine? The police will be around your house in like 10 seconds going, yeah, I've got too many people in your house.
Yeah, 6 people in your house.
All right, so tell us, okay, briefly, I'll figure out what Boxing Day is. Because it's like, that's what makes Christmas so cool in the British Commonwealth, is that you have Christmas Day, and then you have another whole day off because it's Boxing Day, and that's about as firm a holiday as you can get throughout the year. You always get those 2 days off, and of course Christmas Eve isn't a working day anyway, so it's a solid. So
I can tell you where it comes from. Canada has it. Every Canada has it, and they also have it in French Canada as well. And it's
time out. Now you.
It's Canada.
Come on.
Come on.
Now
they don't call it Boxing Day. They call it Le Lendemain de Noël, which I can't remember. My French is terrible, but they have. What I was saying is not that there's two different parts of Canada, but that they have their own version with a different name of. They don't call it Boxing Day in Quebec. They call it something else, but they still have the day. Je de Box.
That's a Google test.
No, it's something else. So anyway, it comes from the Feast of St. Stephen, Lionel, and basically it's to do with, there's references to it all the way back to the 1600s, and it's a custom where wealthy households would allow their servants to take the day off to go and visit their family. And then where the box comes from is from a Christmas box, which would contain some gifts and scraps from the table from Christmas Day for them to take back and feed their own family with. So their family could enjoy some of the wealthier foods that they may not have for the rest of the year. And that's where it all comes from. And then it morphed off from there, where it would traditionally be the day that all businesses would kind of allow service people to have day off. So like postmen, errand boys, and all kinds of public servants would take the day off. And that's where it comes from. And it pretty much most Commonwealth countries, including South Africa, still observe it.
Yeah.
Pretty much every Commonwealth country still observes it.
Well, even Hong Kong still observe it. So it's a big thing.
Does America not then?
What's that?
No.
Does America not then?
No, it's not. No. They're like, you get Christmas Day and then it's right back to work. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, their bigger holiday. I think their bigger holiday is actually Thanksgiving. I talked to Dave Abley's about that, and his favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. I think their bigger holiday is Thanksgiving, although Christmas is a big deal too. But they don't have Boxing Day. It's my one time of the year. I always, call up my American friends and going, so how's work going today?
See, it's kind of, we don't have Thanksgiving in the UK. Obviously in Canada you do, and I think Boxing Day is kind of our equivalent of Thanksgiving, because it's a day to say thank you to other people, which is why my father-in-law's invited me to have dinner, and he's cooking dinner for me on Boxing Day, and I'm cooking dinner for him on Christmas Day. So kind of, that's how it kind of works.
And where does your father-in-law live? What?
He lives just 10 minutes away on the mainland of Orkney.
No, there is no mainland. I got news for you. There is no mainland of Orkney.
Main island of Orkney.
Main island of Orkney.
The bigger island. Peter, you were going to say something?
I can't remember what it was. Was it Boxing Day? No, I was just saying, because Boxing Day is like the that's how it all started, because it was giving the box of food to the servants. It was a way of saying thank you to them, but also here, thank you for all your hard work, and here have some of our feast. So it's it's kind of our Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So what we should do is we should all send a box of food to our friends in the colonies.
Absolutely. Yeah. A box of tea is coming your way.
All right.
Peter, do you still give your staff a box on Boxing Day?
What was that?
Well, depends how hard they work the rest of the year.
Oh, right, yeah.
So.
Yeah, what do you do for a living, Peter?
Well, my main business is IT support for small, medium businesses, and then I also do drone photography.
So
as well.
So here's something. I actually had this thought the other. Here's a little story for you. So yes, you know how occasionally, very, very rarely, but every once in a while, I will take a selfie and post it on Facebook.
Almost every second hour, no more than that.
Yeah. So I'm walking the other day, and I'm walking on this path that's connects one road to another road, and it's just a walking path between houses. And down each side, it has a chain link fence, because there's people's property on either side. And it's, it's like about a 4-foot wide path. And I'm walking down, and there's snow on top of the fence. And I think to myself, hey, I bet you if I use the snow just right, I can use it as a place to hold my camera, my phone, and I can take a selfie, which I did. And then after I took the selfie, the phone fell off the fence and into the snow on the path side. So it was easy to pick up. And it's a iPhone 10 or whatever it is, with one with the 3 cameras. So it's fine. It was fine, and it's still playing. It's still playing the podcast that I'm listening to. So then I thought, I'm going to take another photo. Didn't like that one quite as much as I didn't have quite the right look. So I take another photo, and basically I'm being a stooge to begin with, because I'm balancing my phone on top of a round fence with using snow. So basically I'm being a stooge to begin with. And so I take the next photo, and before I get back to the phone, it falls off the fence, only this time on the other side of the fence into about 2 feet of snow. And I make a couple of lame attempts trying to reach through the fence, but I can't get my hand through there. And I'm only wearing my sneakers because where I was walking had been plowed, and I'm thinking, I guess there's nothing else to do, but I got to walk around and go into this guy's backyard to get my phone. And of course, as I'm walking into the guy's driveway, he pulls up, and I had to explain to him why I was in his backyard. And so anyways, I go back there and fish around, but I did find my phone reasonably easily. But so then about an hour later, I go to plug it in to do something, charge it or something. And the phone comes up. You cannot plug in your lightning cable because it's wet. Your phone is wet. And I'm like, uh-oh. And the sad part of this story is my friend Bill, the Apple guy, whose office is next to mine for the last 25 years. And anytime I have any questions about my computer, my phone, anything, I just say, hey, Bill, what about this? What about that? Blah, blah, blah. Well, he's become a victim of COVID and has gone out of business. So
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I'm sitting there last night thinking, well, now what do I do? I don't have anybody. I suddenly it dawns on me, I don't have anybody to easily ask computer questions to. I mean, I can call Bill on the phone and that, but right now he's, not having the most fun. And I'm thinking, well, there's Peter. Peter knows computer stuff. So by default, Peter, you've now become the official AML computer guy.
And luckily for you, I'm one of the few IT guys who actually prefers Macs.
I know.
You're in luck there.
I know. So now instead of full panic, I'm only half panicked. And then when I'm dying for somebody to say to me, so if some computer thing come up, and then I tell a story, and then I say to somebody later, oh yeah, I got that fixed. Well, how'd you get it fixed? Well, my computer guy fixed it. Well, where is he? Is he in Barrie? No, he's just outside of London, England.
Just hope you don't have to, you've got a problem with your printer and you need an on-site visit. That might get a bit expensive.
It might, but chance for us to hang out. Exactly. I hate printers. I absolutely hate printers. I hate printers. Printers were put on this earth to make people go crazy.
You haven't met the right one yet.
There's no need to have a printer anymore.
Of course there is. You've got to print out your invoices.
No, you don't. You send them electronically.
Yeah, but you need. I print out a copy of all my invoices still.
Yeah, and
I've still got paper copies of everything, because what happens if your computer blows up, your online storage, always have double backups, triple backups.
absolutely.
Paper.
You'll be proud of me, Peter. I have 2 external hard drives that I use constantly.
Yeah.
By constantly, I mean at least every couple of days. Because I'm always terrified.
More than about 90% of my clients.
Yeah, I'm always terrified. I'm always terrified that I'll do a podcast and then, I'll lose it because I didn't back it up. So I have 2 external hard drives that I use regularly. And if you get lots and lots of times, if you've ever traveled, Gordy, lots of times you can print your boarding pass on your out at home.
I just have it on my phone.
Yeah, that's true. You can do that too.
Yeah, but there was it actually made me laugh. There was a occasion where I went to the airport and there was a problem with the online booking system for one of the airlines, and everyone who had their online boarding passes couldn't access their boarding passes on their phone.
Yeah,
a lot of people hadn't, especially those without Apple who hadn't saved it to their wallet and stuff. And so those of us who had printed it out just sailed straight through because we had a paper copy. I always take one just in case, because my phone battery might die, my phone might get stolen. No, it's no harm having a backup paper copy.
You might drop your phone in the snowbank.
Yeah, I might drop my phone in the snowbank.
Oh dear.
The one and only time I used the boarding pass on my phone, I couldn't connect. I got into the airport and I couldn't connect, and I'm standing there and going, well, now what do I do?
See, that's why I always add it to my wallet and I always screenshot it. And then you haven't got to worry about being connected to anything.
I do that as well. Yeah.
Is there anything you don't do right, Gordy? I'm going to start following you around.
I really try not to, but no, I do make quite a lot of mistakes, and that's how you learn all these lessons of screenshotting.
Okay. What's okay? How should we finish this? Is there any other questions? Is there one more Christmas question we can ask? Question?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. What's your favorite Christmas movie, Lionel?
No, we already did that.
No, we haven't asked you. What's your favorite? Mine
is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
And have you done all your Christmas shopping?
No.
You had a go at me when I hadn't done my Christmas shopping yet.
Yeah, but I'm the host. Do you have a podcast, Andy? I'd be happy to come on your podcast and you can have a go at me.
Okay, I'll invite you one day.
Yeah. That's the best part about being the evil overlord. You get to make up your own rules as you're going along. They don't have to make sense to anybody but you. What else? What other Christmas question could we ask?
Christmas dinner. What's everyone having for Christmas?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. We do the traditional turkey.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing at Christmas? Gravy. I love Christmas dinner, and we have gravy. Lots of gravy.
Okay.
I'm a gravy guy.
That's not a bad thing.
What do you? Go ahead, Peter.
I was going to say I'm probably the only one of the only people in the world who like Brussels sprouts for Christmas.
Jesus.
Oh no, there'll be plenty of Brussels sprouts in our house, done many different ways.
Bacon, definitely bacon included there.
Bacon, everything.
I don't understand the point of Brussels sprouts.
They're like baby cabbages. They're just baby cabbages.
I don't understand the point of cabbage. So there you go. I don't understand.
Otherwise, roast potatoes and gravy. That's my next best one.
Yeah, there you go. I don't understand Brussels sprouts or asparagus, or what's the one that looks like a little bush? Broccoli. Those are the 3 ones. And squash. Those are my 3 no-goes. Brussels sprouts.
Squash is not a common thing in this country at Christmas.
Yeah.
You haven't had the right squash yet. Come on.
My problem is my mother couldn't cook. Although she was from the Isle of Wight, she could not.
I've got the same problem.
my mother couldn't cook water. She couldn't boil water. I'm serious. Someday I could do an hour about the way my mother cooked. My dad and I literally, there was a farm supply place, and they used to have these giant blocks of cheese. And he would buy a giant block of cheese, and if it was something my mother made that we couldn't eat, we'd eat cheese.
I think my mother was one of the first people in South Africa to buy a microwave when it first came out there, and she's used it ever since. She cooks everything in a microwave.
Really?
She'll do a roast chicken in the microwave. I don't know how the hell, but she does bread in the microwave.
See, there's some big differences around the world. I bought someone suggested a book for me, a cookbook that I should get that was cooking from scratch, right? An American cooking from scratch cookbook. And I opened it to the first page, and the recipe said, "Open a tin of condensed soup. Open a tin of green beans." I open a can. Sorry, it's American. Open a can. And I was like, everything's in a can. They don't even cut up an onion on this thing. Not a single recipe. Not a single recipe. The only from scratch bit was opening the can and maybe cutting yourself.
Yeah. Open the packet of chopped frozen onions. You know, you're not going to chop your onion yourself. There's a bag that's already chopped for you. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Matt, what's your favorite thing to eat at Christmas?
Oh, I'd probably say the desserts.
Okay. Which, strangely enough, the only thing in the entire time I knew my mother, the only thing she could ever cook was Christmas pudding. It was the weirdest. That was just that was just the weirdest thing. What about you, Andy? What's your favorite thing to eat on Christmas?
Well, I'm lucky, really. I live a couple of miles away from a town that has 28 takeaways. So I can go almost a month without eating the same thing twice. So it's what I feel like at the time sort of thing.
Whichever one of the takeaways is open on Christmas Day, it's Andy's choice.
Yeah, we've got a pub that does a very nice Christmas dinner, and they deliver it as well. So I might go that route, or I might cook some turkey. I don't know yet.
Yeah, why don't you? Yeah, go crazy, cook some turkey. Okay, Peter, I'm going to let you choose to who should take us out. Oh, I know I've already decided. Matt, you're going to take us out of here, buddy.
Okay.
My choice.
Yeah, you are the most devoted. Let's have a couple of minutes here. Let's give a couple of minutes of thanks, Christmas thanks to our super fan number 36, who has a modeler's life tattoo.
We're always with you, Matt. We're always with you.
We are always with you, buddy. That's I'm going to open my camera. I want to see it right now. It just makes me feel special. Put your camera on, Matt, and show us your tattoo. And
is the rumor true, Lionel, that you can become a super fan by getting AML's logo tatted on your backside?
Anywhere. It's anywhere. I love that. That is my favorite moment in the entire AML podcast history. Thanks, man. I love it.
So this is for the radio listeners out there. Matt is here showing us his bicep with his wonderful.
Oh, okay.
On.
Look at that. It's like is that the one you use? How much did it cost you to get that?
It was about £80, I think.
Well, that's all right. What did the guy?
It's actually slightly bigger than the magnet version.
Yeah. And what did the guy think when you asked him for it?
Didn't ask much about it. I even said about there. So he sort of said, "Why are you getting it?" And I sort of said, "Well, if I get this, it makes me a super fan." And he looked at me a bit quizzically and sort of went, "Okay."
My walking away, my highlight moment of the entire podcast so far is they were making you a super fan, and Kelly goes, "Well, that loophole is closed," and these guys start having a discussion for 10 minutes about how the loopholes work and whether or not you could ever. And I said, and finally after 10 minutes, I went, "Stop! Anybody who gets a permanent tattoo is automatically a super fan. No, that loophole is closed. No, it's not. That's not a loophole. It's permanent. Anybody that gets a tattoo becomes a super fan. Period. End of sentence. Stop talking." That was the only time.
A tattoo of the AML logo, guys. Not just any old tattoo, right? You can't have "I love my mum" on your arm.
No. It's got to be an AML tattoo. It's got to be an AML tattoo of some AML thing. Absolutely.
So the logo or Lionel's face on your backside, you're a super fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because you've got to suffer not being able to sit down for 6 weeks.
What was your question, Peter?
I was going to say, what happens if what does Matt get if he does the new logo on his right bicep?
He becomes the first ever platinum super fan, and I don't know what that entails, but it'll be a box of something, and the best possible plaque you could ever see. Anybody gets a second one, that would be cool. But don't do that, Matt. You're fine the way you are.
I won't have to do that after blood donation number 50.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we have a website. Oh, first off, Gordy, give out the email address.
Yeah, it's Modeler's Life @gmail.com. That's a modeler's life with one L, as in, I don't know. I can't even do this stuff.
One L like London.
Yes, one L like London.
Not two L's like...
Not two L's like Kirkwall.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And you could have gone with Tingwall House, too.
Yeah.
How many people live in Kirkwall?
Quite a few, actually. About like 8,000-9,000. It's the most northerly cathedral town in the United Kingdom.
What's a cathedral town?
A town with a cathedral.
Oh.
Okay.
And the cathedral in Kirkwall predates Notre Dame in Paris.
Oh, wow.
And actually has it's one of the first Viking Christian cathedrals in the world.
Wow.
And there you go.
So how long have you lived there now?
A year now, pretty much just over a year we've been in Orkney.
Okay, so now how do you like it?
Love it.
Yeah?
Love it. Absolutely. Even with all the lockdown and the pandemic, it's like living inside a TARDIS. You know, the rest of the UK's there, but most days you don't have to look at it, and it's great.
And we have a website. This has gone way longer than I wanted to, so you guys have annoyed me. And I have a website. We have a website, amodelerslife.com. And if you go there, you're going to see all kinds of really cool stuff. And there's there's all kinds of really cool stuff. It tells you what episodes are coming up and all sorts of other things. And I was going to say something, but I forgot what it is. Oh, and don't forget, if you want some AML merchandise, I haven't talked to any of you guys about this. How cool. Has any of you guys gone to Midwest.com and looked at all the AML merchandise?
I've looked at it, and I've thought how wonderful it would be if we could get a UK producer of it, so we didn't have to pay the currently high shipping rates. Yeah, we might have to pool together and do a pooled order, I think.
Yeah, good idea.
Do that. Just get a bulk order, and we can split the shipping.
So that's our buddy Stephen Atwell over there at Midwest Model Railroad, and he has put together a whole kaleidoscope, cornucopia of AML gear. There's T-shirts, there's hoodies, there's hats, there's mugs, everything you could possibly want. And so it's right there on the Midwest Model RR.com, and it's right in the navigation bar. It's very fun, and soon, probably by now, every package that goes out has an AML sticker on the side of it. So that's pretty cool. And I think that's it. I think we've covered it all, have we not, boys?
For this year, that's another one in the bag.
That's right. Now, and as a perspective, as a NMRA board of directors, Gordy, is there anything you'd like to say to everybody out there at Christmas time on the AML?
Everyone out there from the NMRA at Christmas, no matter how old you are or particularly how young you are, we would like to welcome you to enjoy Christmas with the NMRA and your family, and get as many people as possible a Christmas train set to go under your Christmas tree.
And Merry Christmas from the AML. There you go. How often do you go to Kirkwall?
Every day to drop Alex off at work, my missus.
Oh, okay. All right. How long does it take you to get to Kirkwall?
25 minutes.
Oh, yeah, and you get that big fancy. That was something we needed to talk to you about. As soon as you became a member of the board of the NMRA, all of a sudden you're driving a new car. That seemed very suspicious to me.
Yeah, you see, I could lie to you and say that it was some kind of bribe, and the fact it's got a personalized plate on it was some kind of bribe. But I can publicly tell the AML Nation that it is because not long before then we found out that we were expecting another child. So there will be another little Gordy or Alex running around in May 2021, God willing, and so we needed a bigger vehicle, and that's honestly the reason why I got a new car.
Oh, that's cool.
Make sure it's May, and it'll be the most amazing date.
So
yeah, and I think I speak on behalf of the AML Nation that we hope that your second child is born healthy and beautiful, and we really hope it's a girl because we don't think none of us can handle another Gordy.
Gordy, I hate to hint at this, but I do, having seen the scan, I do think that Gordy Jr. may well be on the way.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, that's probably will there still be room for me to stay at your place if you're gonna have another kid.
Absolutely. You know what? You're going to come and stay at my place. We're going to look after you. We'll get you out in that fishing boat. I will take you to the local farm where you can pick the vegetables that you want to eat from the farmer. And it's just an honesty box. And we will go and you can look at the animals that you want to eat. And then we'll sort them out getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
In your honor.
I bet. You know what I want to do? I want to come visit you. And by the end of the night, I don't want either of us to be able to find your car. That's where I'm at. When we go to the pub.
Oh, we don't need to. It's 5 minutes from the house. We don't need to be able to find the car.
Yeah. Well, then the next day they need to find us in a field somewhere.
That's very likely. Yeah. As long as we don't end up finding us on the pier, we'll be all right.
All right. So are you ready, Matt?
Ready as I'll ever be.
So remember, a Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
British AMLers.
Four car crushing action Saturday at the Spectrum. Burning motor coaches battle it out in the mud bog with special guest stars Heather Locklear and Knight Rider Car Kit.
It's another Lincoln Homer.